didn't have fortune or a front row seat in society. Never got to sing his favorite song on the Grand Ole Opry. But he took his beat-up guitar out most every night and sang it on the front porch, Lord knows he sang it right. He sang, when we fall down in life, we best get up again. Many are the trials and tears we must overcome. Learn to take it easy, walk in freedom's light, and keep on keeping on till you get it right. Grandpa had to work the farm, never got too far in school. Could barely read and write, Lord knows he learned the golden rule. Paid hard dues on coal mine crews when times were tough and lean. You know, down to red earth men like him are few and far between.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Humanity Matters. That's right, I said good morning. This time we're doing our episode in the daytime, in the morning. And before I introduce our host of the show, I'd like to welcome back our co-host, Kathy Payer.
Thank you.
Who agreed to be with us again. And I hope you enjoy our show. Our host today is Albert Turcaso. And I will turn the camera to you.
All right. Well, first of all, officially, it's been roughly 2 months before I was able to get back here. So Happy New Year. This is 2014. Had some technical difficulties the last couple episodes. One was that my vehicle didn't want to work. And also we are shooting live. We are shooting this and filming this on January the 30th, 2014. And we will be doing another episode on February the 7th, 2014. And you may actually see the February 7th episode before you actually see, in fact, you will see that episode before you see this. So it may get kind of discombobulating and confusing, but we actually are shooting All Is Possible January the 30th, 2014. February the 7th, 2014, we will have a live episode at 6 p.m. We will be fielding calls, and so it's going to be semi back to normal. Announcement that you need to know, we are no longer on the first Tuesday of the month live at 6. Currently, we are not at that time. We will be working to have that occur once again hopefully in July, but there is no guarantees. Well, however, you do need to know there are major changes coming both to the station and in Albert Turcaso's life. Whether they are good, whether they are not so good, remains to be determined. But one thing about me, I do not stay stagnant. So with that, let's get to the topic, all is possible. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start. And essentially, I'm going to do my spiel, get to where I'm coming from, and then I will ask the opinions of both Annette and Kathy. And of course, Kathy is our special guest today, but hopefully we'll be seeing more of Kathy in 2014 if we're lucky. But in the meantime, let us rejoice in the fact that she is here today. So let's get down to the business at hand. All is possible. Now, I want to cover that because that's the title of the episode, but I actually have that listed as number 2. I'm going to go ahead and list it as number 1. And let's just get into it. You need to know that I am a secular show for the most part. Usually I don't get much into religion or belief. However, my mission that I have taken upon myself, for whatever reason, is to help improve people's lives. And as such, one has to be objective as a journalist, as a human being, and as a person who has a belief system, but be objective to ask the questions that maybe we never asked ourselves. And maybe it's time we do. So with that, I'm going to get into the name of the title. It says all is possible. Actually, it could have been all things are possible. Now, as people who are Christian and possibly other religions, you have read at least in the Bible, all things are possible through God. It says roughly, I believe it says in the Bible, I have not read it enough. I believe it actually says, through God all things are possible. Which then brings us to needing to analyze ourselves and take an objective look at ourselves. And you'll understand as I go through this. Not that you don't now, I don't mean that. What I'm getting at is, through God, all things are possible. We've heard that if we go to church, Christian church at least. I don't know about other denominations and religions, religions. But so many times in our life, we heard, through God, all things are possible. And we profess to believe in God. And a lot of us go to church, do Bible study, and in fact, read the Bible and pray possibly every day and even multiple times a day. Millions of people around the globe do this. Yet, these very same people, including myself, have much doubt about accomplishing the missions in their life they want to accomplish. And many, throughout their entire life, never have their dreams realized, never get their missions accomplished. Which leads me to self-analysis in that if you believe through God, all things are possible, but you do not believe in yourself, and God believes in you, are you not only doubting yourself, but in effect, doubting God? Is it in fact true that maybe our faith is not as what we believe it to be? Because indeed, I will say to you that if in fact all things are possible through God, and we profess our love for God, our belief in God, why then do we not believe in ourselves? Why is it we do not complete the missions? Why are ye of little faith? Why are we of little faith? The truth is, as I sit before you, I am not just a talk show host. I'm not just a journalist. I'm not just an entity, a television personality. I am a man who has not accomplished the missions and dreams that I have set out to do. I am a man that has had depression, a man who has self-doubt, a man that almost every day questions, why is it that in the 33 years of trying to accomplish certain things in my life, I have never accomplished it. Now, I can only speak for myself. And my belief is that I do not have the belief that I thought I had. I believe in God wholeheartedly, but I have let myself down. Frankly, I have been unfair to God. And I will share this with you. Back when I was a younger man, I was in a home because I was physically abused in school. So I was in a home. And I used to want to go home and go living back at home with my family because I was taken away from my family for 5 years, unjustly. But that's here or there. I mean, neither here nor there. I was abused not only physically by my classmates, but also by the juvenile court system. And I will never allow my children to go to school in Pittsburgh, PA, Pittsburgh Public Schools, should I choose to stay in Pittsburgh, simply because of the way I was abused and the school system did not do their job. But I could go a whole show on that. But the point is, I then was taken away from my family. And I, every day, would pray, let this be the day that I get the news that I'm going home. And I bring that up for a reason. Back when I was a younger man, when I was in these homes, I could almost physically, visually, and physically see myself walking to a bus or vehicle and getting the news that I was going back home, that I was on my way home. It was as if it was as real as my hand before me. I had that visualization. I had that belief that it was there before it was actually there. And I bring that up because I've been reading a lot of books like The Power of Positive Thinking, Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich, and all of these things say you have to see it as reality before it actually becomes reality. If you want a house with 10 rooms and you want a mansion, you have to actually see it and live as if you are already in it. You have to see it and live as if you are in it. The older me, the me now, the 50-year-old me, sees looking at things like that almost as if it's delusional. And I would argue that psychiatrists and psychologists would say living as if something's real when it's not could argue that it's delusional. But let me tell you something. All of these books say that's exactly what we need to do. All of them. And you might say, well, they were delusional. But if you read Think and Grow Rich, some of the wealthiest men and women in America throughout the history of this nation had that vision or visions and saw these things as being reality before they were reality, and as such, they made it happen. I'll give you a couple of their names. Andrew Carnegie was one. Thomas Edison was another. He actually seen the light bulb even before he made the incandescent light bulb. It took him 10,000 attempts. 10,000. He never gave up. He saw it. And as you know, light bulbs became a reality for everyone. Henry Ford, same thing. Saw a horseless carriage. We know it as the automobile. He failed a lot. It finally happened. Now, what does all this have to do with through God all things are possible? How did this mend together? Because in these books, it's almost as if they are an extension or an addition to the Bible, because they say in there, through faith and what have you, all things are possible. And the reality is, if you will look up those books, get them on a PDF, or buy them, or rent them, or borrow them from the library, you will see that almost every super millionaire and billionaire in America has had this in their brain. They've had this vision, some would say delusion, of the item really there before it was there. So if at least 500 of the wealthiest Americans ever lived followed and believed these principles and then became 500 of the richest people have ever lived, it begs the question, why don't we believe? Now, I will be going into another segment, but I'm going to extend this segment because we need to discuss this. So I will go, and I want to thank John for giving me the prompt. But again, it all comes down to this. Where is our belief? Do we who believe in God, do we really believe in God? Because this is the question. If all things through God, all things are possible, and we believe in God, and God believes in us, why then do we not believe in ourselves? And why then, if we believe in God, God believes in us, why then do we not believe that God believes in us enough that if we will take these actions, our dreams will no longer be dreams, but in fact become a reality? This is the question, the very complicated and complex question that I now pose to the one and only returning Kathy Payer.
That's a good one. I don't know. I just don't know.
Do you believe in God?
I believe in God.
Do you believe that God believes in you?
Yes, I do. But I don't believe believe in myself.
Now that is exactly the point, isn't it?
Yes.
We don't believe in ourselves enough. Why? If we believe in God, and God believes in us.
That's a hard question. I don't, maybe because when I was growing up, the way I was growing up is the way I feel today.
Well, let me ask you this.
I mean, all my life when I was younger, when I was younger, I went to church, I went to Sunday school, I learned about the Lord and all that. I believe in Him and all that. It's just, I don't have enough courage to believe in myself.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to put a challenge to you.
Okay.
I want you to think of a dream, a dream that you want, whether it's a new house or a new car or to be a millionaire restaurateur. I don't care what it is. I want you to get a dream, write it down on paper, and then I want you to start believing that you can achieve it. As hard as it is, and taking certain actions. If you want to learn how to drive, then do it. And as you have doubt, I want you to think in your brain, I believe in God. Through God, all things are possible. And God believes in me. So maybe I should risk believing in myself. That is the challenge for both you and frankly for all of you and myself. But that's what I'm going to ask you to do. Do you think that you can try that?
I could try.
Do you believe in God enough that you're willing to try?
Yeah.
All right, that's a challenge.
I do.
So we agree that you'll do that?
Yeah.
All right, let's shake on it, even though that's kind of hard to do. You heard it? You heard it yourself? You have witnesses. Now, Annette.
Yeah.
Same question for you.
What's the question?
If you believe in God,
Yeah.
and through God all things are possible,
Right.
why have you not achieved your dreams, and why do you not believe in yourself? If
Because
God
I
believes
don't have
in you,
money.
None of us have money, but
now hold on a minute.
money's not okay,
Well,
money's
wait
a
a
lot
minute.
of
It
things.
helps.
Wait a minute. Do you believe in God?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe that all things are possible through God?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe that God believes in you?
Yes.
Are you here today?
Yes.
Then why doubt that if you do the actions that you want to accomplish, that the money will come to you? Why
that's true.
Why are ye of little faith?
I don't have little faith.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Then again, I ask you to write a dream that you want or always have wanted. Write it down. Study it. Take certain actions. Get the education. And I want to know, will you agree to me, with me, that you will try?
I will try.
Okay. Again. Now, I can't shake, well, I could shake my own hand because it seems weird. I agree too. Now, as I said, I'm not Mr. Religious. But let me tell you something. And we're going to go to the next segment. I remember those days being in that home, walking that sidewalk, seeing this vision, and thinking at times, I'm never going to go home again. I'm never going to see my family. But at the same time, I saw myself home. And sure enough, that day came, and what I seen visually actually happened. But I will go a little bit further than that. I pictured myself wearing a certain outfit, and that day came. And at the time, I didn't have that outfit. That day became a reality. So why am I saying this to you? Because I know something. I know that the day is going to come that I will be on the mainstream airwaves. I know that if I were to go to every network in the United States and every television network around the globe, literally thousands upon thousands, everyone around the globe may say, no, Albert, we don't have a place for you. You're not good enough. But here's what I know. There's a higher power. And sure enough, if I live long enough, I will be a national superstar in terms of talk shows. I will get that part. I will get that job. Now, you might think, well, maybe you haven't gotten it because you're selfish. You want this fame. You want this money. And there may be something to that. But why do I want this big break? This is what you need to ask yourself. Is it the money? Sure, I'd like to have the money. But it's more because if I get there, when I get there, not if, I am going to get there. And it is because of the impact that I can bring to the hopeless. I can bring to those who have not had the breaks. I can bring to those who will say, this is a man who tried for 10 years and finally succeeded. This is a man who was supposed to be dead at the age of 2 and finally succeeded. This is a man who's survived on less than $700 a month for most of his life, and he made it. And as I make it, I'm not going there alone. I'm not climbing that mountain alone. I'm bringing you with me. Now, there's a lot of things I can't say because it's public access. The station has its rules. The FCC has certain laws. They can constitute things as advertisement. But instead of going through all those avenues, let me say this. As I move ahead, and I am on a commercial station, I will then advertise. I will do things that will amaze you, shock you, and quite frankly, change your life. If you are willing to believe in yourself, work hard, contact me, join me in whatever it is. I won't say what they are, but I will help you to change your life. Why do I give a damn about you? Excuse my language, but I got to say it. Because it is right. And because I am filled with love. I could easily be filled with hate. I've had an extremely hard, vicious, impoverished life. I've watched people die left and right. I've had a lot of stuff go down. But my love for humanity and for a higher power outweighs that 1,000,000,000,000%. And I am saying something to you that I am not going to write a check that I can't cash. But as I get to where I want to be, and I will get there. So really, if any network executive ever sees this, or the local Channel 11, Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 13, Channel 53, Channel 22, whomever, WBGN, if you see me doing this, you disregard my words, you believe that I'm lightweight, or whatever you may think, I am saying to you now that through God all things are possible. And I will either be on your station or I will supersede you and end up on the network station or a network. But I will get there. You can write that and know that it's going to happen. Just, you know what? I believe in God. So be ready for changes. Yes, I'm going to have some setbacks. Yes, I'm going to get depressed. Yes, I'm going to give up. But I will never stop trying. And I will succeed. Because you know what? Through God, all things are possible. And for my atheist friends out there, you can say God does not exist. But ask yourself this question. If God does not exist, how is it that people do the impossible and often say, I did it through my faith in God? You can't prove, and I can't prove that God exists. You can't prove that he doesn't exist, or the entity. But my point is, many people have done the impossible. Every day, the impossible becomes possible. And most people say through God. So the atheist, you can say you don't believe. It's not real. But the reality is that if it were not real, how do people do the impossible every day? As I speak to you, January the 30th, 2014, I guarantee you, January the 15th, 2014, something that is not done today will be done tomorrow. Maybe it's a new technology. You'll hear about it on technological news. There's a major breakthrough. Maybe it's in medical. I don't know. But every day, a miracle happens. So yes, we can't prove that God exists or don't. That's why it's called faith. And I promise all of you that I will go back to my secular ways, but I will never deny God. And let me say that in Revelations or in the Bible somewhere, it says that at some point the Antichrist is going to come. You're going to have a choice, either bow down to him or die. Well, in that case, I will pick death. I will not bow down. I will remain steadfast. My soul belongs to Father God. You can call God by any name. Allah, Jesus, I don't care. My soul belongs to the light. That's me. So you better remember that. And as for the local networks, I will conquer this obstacle and I will be on your station. That you can take to the bank. In fact, you can take it to anywhere you want. It's going to happen. With that, I'm way overdue, but I got something else. I got 30 minutes in. I need to talk to you about President Obama. Something vitally important happened yesterday. Yesterday, the president released, signed into law, a new set of bonds. I believe they are bonds. It's like an IRA. It's called My IRA. And it's geared to help the poor and the working poor, and maybe others, start saving. Start to have a savings account or their own small retirement account. And you could put in as little as $5 a week. Now, already the pundits are saying it's not going to work. You're not going to end up getting more than 2 or 3%. You'd be better to put it in a bank. But the important thing is you can have it done automatically through your employer in some cases, or will be able to, and you can do it automatically on your own. Let me tell you about this new idea. This new idea can literally help you to become a millionaire. You may not get much money on what you invest, but as you get to $15,000, it then has to be transferred into, I believe, a regular IRA or a Roth IRA. Now you might say, how you doing, everybody? You might say, well, that's not that great. Yes, it is. Because people who never had money saved or never invested in these bonds or IRAs can now start doing that. And then when you get to the $15,000, you can then go to a better vehicle that will have more interest and more money coming to you. And it will get you in the habit of having it automatically deducted. So what the president has done yesterday can ultimately help the poorest among us become financially independent. You may not become a millionaire, but you will have a lot more money than you ever had if you start saving. Check into the MyRA, M-Y-R-A. It may also be listed as My IRA. President Obama wrote it into law on Tuesday, the 28th of January, 2014, I do believe. Now, what this means is, let's say you can afford $20 a month. You put that in, you have it automatically done. Now, for those of you who are saying, I can't afford $20, listen, sacrifice your coffee at the local shop. Sacrifice your pack of cigarettes. Sacrifice something. Stop going 3 times a month if you need to a fast food place. Go twice. Get that money in there. As little as $20 a month can be life-changing if you do it for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 years. And also, don't just do the MyRA. Get educated on it. And read the book, The Automatic Millionaire. Because if you will read that book by Richard Bach, you can change your financial future. Why am I telling you all these things? Because my mission is to improve life for all of us. And believe me, I have my own personal tragedies almost daily. If you look at the ending credits, you'll find out that in the month of December, 2 of my remaining cats died literally 9 days apart. So I'm still devastated, but I am here. There's a greater power at work here. There is really a greater power. With that, I want to talk to Kathy about this MyIRA or MyRA. How do you feel about the $20 a month idea? Can you please expound on that?
Well, if I could afford it, I don't know if I would. I don't know. If I could afford it, I would do it if I had it.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever bought fast food that you really didn't need to?
Yeah.
Why don't you take that money, get it set up, and use some of that money, even if you only put $10 a month. At the end of the year, your account would have $120 that you don't have today. So what do you think of the president coming up with this low-cost, new type of savings plan?
I think it's a good idea.
Okay. And would you like to throw it to Annette with her opinion?
Annette, what's your opinion on it?
I've read books that suggest something similar to this. And I already had thoughts in reading these books about putting away a little bit of money. Right now I can't afford to do it, but when I get the chance, I'm going to start putting away a certain amount of money so that it grows and accumulates through the years or whatever. And, you know.
Can I say and interrupt you?
What?
We were just speaking about through God, all things are possible.
Yeah, I know.
Now, hold on a minute. Look at me, please. You are wrong that you can't afford it. You can't afford it. You can't afford it.
Well, we discussed this when I read the book.
No, this is new. This is brand new. You can afford that one.
Well,
You can now start a savings account. So you can actually afford that. As little as $20 a month, you can do.
well, that's
It's
good.
only $5 a week. You can do that. You can do that. All of you out there. I know you may be saying, literally, you may be saying, every penny I have goes towards bills. Every penny I have goes towards taking care of my family and friends. But I would argue with you and say you are wrong. How many times, as little money as you have, how many times have you found money to get a cup of coffee, to go to a movie, to get a pack of cigarettes, to get some candy, to get some potato chips? Use that money and invest in yourself. As far as the bills, start paying yourself first. You deserve it. So, God bless you, because you are about to experience a new way of life. That's right. With that,
That's what they say in The Automatic Millionaire.
what?
Just pay yourself first.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And
but
you
now,
said we couldn't do it.
I said that, but this is before the My RA came. That is a new dynamic that just came this week.
Well, that's a good thing
The
the president did.
The president is helping our fellow Americans, whether they believe it or not. Now, with that, we are about 42 minutes in, I believe. Is there any way we can get a prompt as to where we are, time-wise? I want to go into another segment here, one that is incredibly important. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, John. Obamacare. That big demon Obamacare, the lousiest piece of garbage to take over of the healthcare system, and all the negativity and terrible things you've been hearing about it. What if it were true? What if it was true? Let me tell you something. Even if it was the worst thing, the worst law ever created, you know what this law really does? It saves lives. And I could even correct myself. It has already saved thousands of lives. It's changed and saved people money and changed lives. But don't take my word for it. Go look online for stories of people who has the quote-unquote Obamacare or the Affordable Health Care Act, and the children that parents couldn't afford to take to the doctor are suddenly getting covered. A woman that was on the State of the Union with President Obama, she was in the audience. A woman who never had or could not afford health care got covered January the 1st, 2014. A few days later, less than a week, I believe, she had a major emergency, a life-risking, possible ending emergency. Because of Obamacare, she was able to get that treatment and not have to go bankrupt or not go. That's one life. But I want to tell you something. this Obamacare does not just save lives, doesn't just save senior citizens thousands upon thousands of dollars on medications and treatments. It doesn't just have preventative medicine that you used to have to pay for certain tests. And you can look on the internet or contact your local congressman or senator if they are honest, which we won't go into their integrity factor, but they'll tell you or they'll direct you to where you can get the real information. But let me throw it a little bit further, my friends. It doesn't just save money. It doesn't just prevent bankruptcies due to medical expense, but it has emancipated millions of people. I speak of the disabled, needs-based disabled American. People on SSI or Social Security that have a limit of only allowed to have $2,000 assets. Now, because of the Obamacare or the Affordable Health Care Act, can decide if they want to risk changing their life. Now, if they go out and start a business or get a job that makes more than $2,000, they're going to lose their benefits. Make no mistake, if you're a needs-based American and you're saying, I want to get wealthy, you now have that opportunity. But you will have to lose your Social Security. And you will lose your state or federal government provided medical care. And this is not a stress for your life. This is a rejoice. The chains have been broken. Because here's the reason. Because of the law. Yes, you will lose your money. Yes, you will have to pay out of pocket, possibly, to get one of these new private or government medical plans. But what you will get in return is no longer having a limit of $2,000, meaning you can have a My IRA, you can invest in the stock market, you can start your own business. And the reason this is the emancipation law is because with that one section of the law, that one provision stating pre-existing conditions cannot be discriminated against, it means that you can get medical care. No matter how ill you have been, you may even have cancer or have cancer in remission, and you can leave the system and get medical coverage. So let me tell you what Albert Turcasso's deal and belief and opinion about Obamacare is. Is it a great law? Yes. Does it need refined and to become even better? Sure. But it has saved and changed lives. Make no mistake, it is because of the Obamacare law I have a chance to be on the mainstream television. Why couldn't I be before? Because I have a pre-existing condition. Which means even if I won the jackpot at the Powerball, I would have had to give up millions of dollars because I could not get health care from a private company at any cost because I have a pre-existing condition. But now, because of that law, they cannot legally discriminate against. And there are no lifetime limits. So if you have a catastrophic injury or sickness, you will get covered the rest of your life. That's what that law really does. So is it something that could maybe end up costing you money, costing America money in the long run? Possibly. But this is about saving your life, every loved one you want, everybody in your family, and frankly, making our nation a more compassionate, loving, healthy nation. So I'm saying to you, support this new law. Even if it kicks you right in the butt, support this new law. Because especially if you're a needs-based disabled American, because let me tell you something, this law has broken the chains. and you can end up planning to get wealthy. And you know what? A lot of these medical benefits, if you are a needs-based American and you're not wealthy yet, you'll be able to get a good plan and probably have little or no out-of-pocket, because there are subsidies for people in certain levels of income. So don't knock this law, because it's breaking free millions of people, and ultimately support this law because of your greed even. Because it ultimately is going to take people off the government payroll, allow them to become self-sustaining Americans financially, and maybe lower your taxes. No politician wants to tell you that, but that's the real deal. So I want to quickly get an opinion from Annette and an opinion from Kathy on what I have just said.
Well, I think that the health care that he got going sounds great. I mean, if it's helping people, why not keep it? And just make it a little better than what it already is. I agree with you.
Well, I feel good and proud that we helped to get the health care law into effect a few years ago. If anybody watched our show years ago, about 4 or 3 years ago, we worked real hard on putting together a song.
A few songs.
A few,
about that.
a few songs. Yeah, and
I did some boxing.
yeah. So if you look back at some of our episodes, you'll see we worked real hard to get the health care law passed, and it finally did. And that was such a great,
Blessing.
for us and for everybody concerned.
Beyond satisfaction. But let me
Yeah.
say something real quick. For the people that believed in Nelson Mandela, the late Nelson Mandela, and how he united and changed the country, and the people that believed in Reverend Martin Luther King and how he helped to get civil rights, think about the needs-based disabled American civil rights and support this law. And do these things in the memory of Martin Luther King and in memory of Nelson Mandela of South Africa, because it's our turn. It's your turn. Now, we have about 8 minutes. I want to quickly mention something here. This is off subject. It's a new topic. We have about 8 minutes. We're not going to be able to touch on it that much, but we're going to do what we can. You know, ladies and gentlemen, America is a weird country at sometimes. And I want to tell you that personhood exists in America. If you are a citizen of the United States, you're considered a citizen and a person. Thus, by law, you have personhood. Corporations that are not really physical people have personhood. They're considered a person like you and I. Ships have what they call personhood. They're considered and have the same rights as an American citizen. Now, I know that sounds retarded. Excuse my language. It sounds absurd, but it's true. But let me tell you who doesn't have personhood. Now, a ship and a corporation has personhood. Calm down, ladies. But animals, your child, you love your animals, they are considered property. They are even considered luggage and cargo when they go in an airplane or a bus sometimes, or a train. I don't know about the train and bus, but they're property. They don't have personhood, but a corporation does.
Or ship.
Or a ship. Now, I don't know about you. I think it's insane.
I think it's
and
unfair.
I believe we should, wait 1 second, we should have personhood for animals. So I want to go ahead and open with Annette, since she's already volunteered that information. Why is a ship that's not a real physical person or a corporation have personhood, but animals don't?
Don't ask me. That's the question I have.
Well, America, call your congressman. 202-224-3121. Ask them, why don't you give personhood to animals? All right, any other contribution?
Well, we have pets, and we consider them our children because they are our children, and they're like kids.
Well, let's not.
And a lot of people consider their animals like family. So it's time.
But let's
Well, I
make
know
the
what I'm
comment
saying.
on the merits of why they shouldn't have it.
What do you mean, why
Well,
shouldn't they have it? They should have it.
That's what I'm
They should
saying.
have the same rights that we have.
I agree, but that's what I'm saying. But let's.
I mean,
use
they
the
go to the
merits.
doctors, do they not? They go
But-
to
but
a,
wait,
okay,
wait,
they
we
go to a
only have 5
veterinarian.
minutes.
That's a doctor, right?
We only have 3 minutes. That's not what I'm saying. I'm
They
saying to
should
you,
have
why?
personhood.
5 minutes now.
Okay. Why should a corporation have personhood that's not a real entity, but an animal should?
It shouldn't.
It's
because-
wrong.
Oh, they're crazy. Don't get me going on this.
So how do you feel about your animals being considered
My
property?
animals are not animals. My animals are humanoids, and they're my babies and my children.
But they're considered property. How do you feel about that?
No, they're not no property. Not in my book, they're not. They might be in the.
But
in
by
the United
law, they are considered nothing more than luggage.
No, they're not. Not in my book.
Well-
It could be like that in their book, but that's okay. They don't have to. They're not with them.
You want my opinion?
Go ahead.
America, it's time we change it and we make personhood for our animals. First of all, when that big pet scare happened, pet death happened because of the imported cat and dog food from China, people could sue for property damages. But the emotional and physical pain didn't count. It's time we end personhood for corporations in the United States.
And
It's
ships.
time we end personhood for ships and give citizenship and personhood to animals. If
Amen.
you believe that, and if you're tired of corporations getting away with robbing us and buying off Congress, sorry, Congress, it's true, you're bribed fools.
Maybe it's only just for the rich. They're allowed to have their pets be normal.
Nope, nobody.
Maybe
So-
we can help change the law.
Well, wait a
just
minute
like
now.
we did.
So we only have a minute left. So let's get the people fired up for your animals. Let's get some justice in America. 1-202-225-3121. Go ahead, call 'em. Oh, and by the way, corporations, because they have personhood, they also have extra privileges.
That's crazy.
They never have to be dissolved, and they can live forever and rob us forever. The bad ones. There are good corporations, but the bad ones. But with that, final thoughts on everything that we did? Your first time back? Final thoughts, Ms. Payer.
Final thoughts on everything.
What we
done?
spoke about, how you
Everything
feel
we-
being back? Will
All
you
right.
join us again? That kind of stuff.
I'll try. I can't promise.
Tell them, don't tell
I'll
me.
try. I can't promise.
Do you miss them?
What, miss the people? Yeah, it's all right. They're good. As long as they listen.
Oh, did you hear what Gracie Allen said? Oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah, they have to listen to our show to hear
Okay.
come on.
Final thoughts on that?
I think we covered a lot of ground today,
Yeah, we
and we gave you a lot to think about, and you really should consider your pets more importantly than anything we discussed today.
By the way, we got to get going, but veterinarians, I didn't get to talk about you today. But February, we're going to allot some time for veterinarians who, let's just say on a scale from 1 to 10, I am a 10 in terms of fed up, disappointed, and disgusted by you. Not all,
We got 2 minutes.
but many. So with that, even you veterinarians matter. And by the way, everybody, call Congress, 1-202-224-3121. God bless you. Call us on February the 7th, 2014. Oh, guess what? Remember that you and humanity and all forms of life really does matter.
Didn't have fortune or a front row seat in society. Never got to sing his favorite song on the Grand Ole Opry. But he took his beat up guitar out most every night and sang it on the front porch, Lord knows. he sang it right. He sang, when we fall down in life, we best get up again. Many are the trials and tears we must overcome. Learn to take it easy, walk in freedom's light, and keep on keeping on till you get it right. Grandpa had to work the farm, never got too far in school. Could barely read and write, Lord knows he learned the golden rule. Paid hard dues on coal mine crews when times were tough and lean. You know, down to red earth men like him are few and far between. And he sang, when we fall down in life, we best get up again. Many are the trials and tears we must overcome. Learn to take it easy, walk in freedom's light, and keep on keeping on till you get it right. Grandpa's now a mega star for all the universe to see, where they don't charge admission and angels play along for free. Yeah, when we fall down in life, we best get up again. Many are the trials and tears we must overcome. Learn to take it easy, walk in freedom's light, and keep on keeping on till you get it right. Till we get it right. Till we get it right. Till we get it right. Someday in a peaceful valley where there's no toil or night, gonna sing a new song on the front porch, Lord knows we'll sing it right.